And you're listening to the Disc Golf Show, episode number 3 of season 2025. Today's date is the 2nd, all day long.
No, it's not.
Last time I checked. Yes, it is.
No,
did I say the 2nd? I meant the 11th.
The 11th.
I read 2 for February and then said 2, but was thinking that is start
Good
over.
Start. Good
Here
start.
we are, brought to you. This is going to be great. It's not even the April Fool's episode, and I'm already throwing you guys for loops. My name is Justin. With me today is one of these guys,
Nick, that's me.
and a new guy,
Yep.
Ken, that's me.
Ken. That's right. First show, and it's fantastic that we're messing up the intro, and I don't know what to do with my hands while we're introducing a new host. And we did allude to it last show, though, that we're gonna have a new segment. We shared you a little sneaky peeky of the bumper for that, and we're gonna do it. We're gonna dive in. Ken, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Let's just dive into a whole background about you. Start when you were 5.
Sure.
Follow up with your love for disc golf, where that came from, and then where you're at now.
I will skip the 5 and go right to the disc golf. I actually found disc golf by just walking at Jordan Creek Park. Jordan Creek Park was used for the 2005 Worlds, which is on YouTube. You can find it. My buddy just called, said, hey, he needed to talk and chat. He was in the service. He was having some existential crisis, that kind of stuff. And we started walking, and I was like, what are those baskets? And I had always been a Frisbee player, even, just as a little kid and stuff like that. So there you go. When 5, I was already throwing Frisbees at family picnics and things like that. Anyway, so I'd kind of heard of Frisbee golf. And I immediately went to our Play It Again Sports, and like I told you guys in the pre-show, behind the curtains, my first disc I bought was a Shark because it said it was an all-purpose disc. So I bought a Shark and just taught myself, self-taught. That's kind of where the coaching came from, because then after that, anybody I wanted to play disc golf, because back in 1993, there was no one on the course. It's not like you walked on the course and it was like, oh, there's another guy playing disc golf. Or no, it just didn't happen. So I taught myself, eventually bought Leopard and other discs, and anybody I wanted to play, I taught them how to play. Not just the rules, but how to throw and all that kind of stuff. I have a little bit of a athletic background, more in martial arts and powerlifting and things like that, but I still had the hand-eye coordination and stuff like that. So yeah, first course I played was a Worlds course, and getting set up for a Worlds even back then, pretty early on. There's a huge disc golf scene. I come from the Lehigh Valley in Pennsylvania. Easton is where I was born, but Allentown is where these courses were. And the Lehigh Parkway, so where Doss won his world championship, and you see Terry come up and hug him. Like, I was probably there in the background because I had went to that Worlds, but again, grew up playing on courses that were Worlds caliber. I mean, they're a lot shorter than what they are now, but that's the long and the short of it. Just been playing for 30 some years.
Right on. Well, thank you so much for coming onto the show with us, joining us as part of the team of Disc Golf Show, and for whooping our butts in the Disc Golf Fantasy League, of which, you kind of won your place. Now, who better to run the Fantasy Disc Golf segment than the guy who is shown the ability to whoop up on you?
Who decimated us, basically.
It was a good draft, and there wasn't.
Stop.
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm done with you. I'm done.
It was a very good draft because I got Simon Lizotte.
Yeah.
There we go.
You can go to hell, too. All right?
That's right. Before we get into the meat and potatoes of the show, there's a couple of things, housekeeping items we got to put up at the top. Not that they're not important, because they're very important. Helps us bring the show to you. This show sponsored in part by Final Nine Sports with their 2 locations, one in Orangeville, one in Rockland. support local. That's the message. If you can't support those two shops, support your local shop. But let's just say, man, my local shop doesn't have something that I need. Well, we have a solution for you here at the Disc Golf Show, and that is to go to discgolfdealsusa.com/Disc Golf Show. And it's an affiliate link. It'll be down below if you're listening on the YouTubes or in the show notes on that Spotify or that app that you're using. And you can save yourself 10% off of any purchase there. And we thank them mightily for helping sponsor the show and getting us maybe some things that you're going to be seeing in the near future here. Spoiler, spoiler. It gives us extra capability. So we thank them a lot for helping sponsor the show and getting us those things that you will see soon, but I'm not giving it away.
We'll probably see him in this episode, possibly.
Yeah, probably, maybe, yeah, maybe. Also, speaking of giving stuff away, stay tuned to the end of this episode because we've hit it. 1,500 subscribers on YouTube. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Congratulations,
Thank you so much.
guys. Congratulations.
Absolutely. You know what? Round of applause.
There you go.
To you, really, to you. For helping us get there. And as a thank you for us getting there, that giveaway, more details down at the bottom of the show, so stay tuned. We'll tell you how to enter and get yourself into the giveaway. But first, let's move into our first section. Does that sound good? Want to move into there? Talk about a little bit of this?
News.
All right.
News.
All right.
That's right.
So, I'm going to take my time here.
Okay, you take your
because
time.
Justin is forcing me onto this show today.
Yes.
I'm under the weather,
Yes.
if you cannot tell.
He's playing
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
Yes, I am,
Yep.
Ken. Yes, I am. So, first things first, Kona. We all know she was a DD, right? They did that whole helicopter thing with her, Ricky, all that stuff. Well, Ricky bounced, Kona bounced. Where does Kona end up? Not a shocker. Where her dad works. Back in Innova. Right? One thing I am surprised, and actually happy to see, is she won her first event back with Innova. So she's hopefully past the medical issue, stress, anxiety, worry that she has been dealing with for at least a few years now, a couple years.
Yeah.
Winning your
That takes
first
a
event
toll.
back is a good sign.
Yeah, that takes a toll.
That's
So
that. You know.
the fact that she's back and she's playing well, that's a good sign. But yeah, a big shout out to Kona for coming out hot in 2025 so far.
Absolutely. Next up, Chandler. I keep wanting to say Chandler. I don't know why. Chandler Kramer signs a deal with Gateway. I didn't see that one coming, but hey, that's where he goes. Hey, good on you. I'm interested to see how maybe the game changes there for Mr. Chandler.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Besides Nico being with them off and on, he's got to be their highest profile player now. In a while.
Probably. Well, is not even probably is.
Right. Yeah, he's got to be. Well, I guess the owners. Wait, do the owners? No, none of their owners play, right? No.
No, I don't
think
believe
so.
so.
I'm thinking
I don't
Legacy.
think so.
Yeah, no.
Oh, yeah.
Rico?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, not Rico.
Yeah, and then next we got Joel Freeman lands at Infinite Disc with an open bag, which we see a lot more
Which is-
players, going to open bag now. So Joel was with Innova last couple of years, and now he's with Infinite in the open bag.
We also
is-
have Tristan Tanner, who split ways with DGA, and he, as of yet, is going to be open bag as well. I don't know exactly if he's going to be sponsored as open bag or if it's just kind of like he's in between right now and he's going to be just deal with whatever he wants from wherever
Right.
he decides. But right now, yeah, there's a lot of pullback in the sponsorship world, and
For sure.
with that dip or I don't know if you want to call it dip or plateau in growth in disc golf, you're finally seeing that hit pockets,
Right.
So we'll see who has longevity and who lasts after 2025 to see if there's any change there.
Absolutely. I think it's the whole open bag concept is kind of interesting to me, like especially with like people like Joel, right? Like previously sponsored by Innova, Now you have an open bag. Does he continue to throw Innova? Right? Is that a thing? How much of the other company's disc does he have to throw? Like, we were kind of talking about that before the show a little bit, in terms of maybe there's a stipulation with, hey, you have to throw this many, right, of these certain discs per whatever contract, and then the rest your open bag. But does he throw Innova? Was there would that be a sign of how that relationship ended between Innova? Like, I don't know, if I got dropped by Innova and it wasn't on a great term and I had open bag, guess what disc company or manufacturer I would not be throwing?
Right?
Yeah.
Right? So I wonder, and not to say that if he chooses not to throw any Innova, if that's an indicator of anything, but I think it'll be interesting to kind of see. And we'll probably have to wait until like the next open bag to see what he is throwing. So
Yeah.
Sure.
something to look forward to.
One more sponsorship announcement that we don't have in the show notes that I thought of.
What's
Missy
that?
Valadias goes back to
Oh.
Dynamic Disc.
That's right.
Yes. Good catch.
Good note. Good note.
Yeah, so
Which is
again,
another-
like you talked about, obviously there wasn't too much bitterness there. I don't
Right.
know if she didn't have any offers or anything like that, or again, felt comfortable enough with now their offer this year, and
Yeah.
decided to go back there. And again, already has some discs, already has some familiarity, doesn't have to go through that learning curve of getting new discs and things like that. So
I feel like also with that, it may be a little bit different in the FPO realm as to where, because, percentages are percentages, and when you're a manufacturer trying to get one sex to throw more of your product, then you're going to need to invest in that. And so maybe that has an aspect of it of, oh, you know what, we've lost this many people in the MPO. Maybe we can actually use some of that money to actually bring back the people we didn't really want to let go but had to at the time.
sure.
Maybe that's
Yeah.
an aspect of it. Of course, I could just be pulling that out of thin air, but
And
it's
she was a very competitive FPO player. So again, if you're looking at
Yep.
getting exposure, getting on lead cards, getting on coverage, that's not a bad pickup to have, especially considering all the fallout you had and negative, stuff you had with Kona and Ricky
Yep.
leaving. That's really not a bad
Right.
pickup at all.
Not at all. I would love to be able to, and obviously we'll probably never get it, but I'd love to have more like insider baseball information on how some of these inner cogs work and how they're deciding to pick up and drop and all that kind of thing. I would love to at least with like one company see how those decisions are made. It's just fascinating to me. We'll probably never get it for obvious reasons.
don't say never. Don't say never.
But it would be fascinating. It would be
Yes,
fascinating.
yes.
Well, when we start our own manufacturing and we start sponsoring, then we'll know, right? Yeah.
Old guy discs.
Yeah.
Old guy discs. The putter, the old mannerism. There we go.
Yep, there you go.
It writes itself. It writes itself. I can't even remember who was supposed to pick up the next one. Was it you?
No, you go for it.
Oh, was it me? Okay.
Yeah.
Kristen Tatar gets second place for the IWGA Athlete of the Year 2024. She was in the lead for a little bit there. For a long little bit when they kind of did the final down to the final, what was it, like 10? Was it final 5 or 10?
And final 10.
Final 10. She was in the lead there for a little bit and then ends up taking second place overall, which is like
She took
pretty
second
darn cool.
by a good chunk
Pretty
too.
darn. By a huge
Yeah.
margin.
And you can't get mad at the rock climbing in world
No.
because they came
No.
in strong at the end
Yeah.
there.
From the beginning.
Their last
Yeah.
minute surge was,
Yeah.
And then right at the end.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
shout out to them.
That was a cool little thing. I liked seeing that. Have they done that in years past?
Not
I just
with
haven't
disc
noticed?
golf. This is like one
Not
of
with
the
disc
first
golf? Okay.
where a disc golf athlete was included. Now I'm sure flying sports, disc sports were in there. I'm guessing because
like
they were included
ultimate
this year.
probably,
So
yeah.
maybe it's ultimate and stuff like that. But I think this is the first, rightfully so. It's Kristen Lott. So,
Yeah.
I wrote that incorrectly on our show notes. It's Kristen.
Yes, you did, and I read it that
oh
way.
yeah,
You write it, I'll read it.
But yeah.
But
so
yes.
she's the whole making moves thing, Discraft, Paul Macbeth thing. No, Kristen's making moves.
Absolutely.
Yeah, she just
Absolutely.
re-upped with Porsche again. She
Yep.
mentioned that, re-upped with the vitamin supplement company that she's working with.
Yep.
She
So,
just did an announcement for some clothing from iCourt Tennis, I think is what it was called.
yes, yep.
Mm-hmm.
And then she
We're
had the
having
Nike
some.
commercial that she
Yep.
also
Yep.
did. Like,
In,
she
Yep.
is making
in,
moves.
yeah, yeah.
Which is awesome.
One of
Good
the
for
best
her
people.
and for disc golf.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I want to see like more of that kind of all the way around. And I think it's, we've talked about it before, so I won't beat the too much. But it's like disc golf is so much more focused on. It's a bigger thing overseas than it is here, and you see like a lot more of those things lining up. Not to say that it hasn't here in the States, but I just wish it would get there, and it'll get there. It'll get there eventually. Just got to baby steps. We'll get
Yep.
there. But I would love to see more and more of that, like the top tier athletes bringing in more of those type of sponsors and getting, just the name of disc golf out there too. So it would be great. Speaking of more disc golf, future World Championship locations have finally been announced, and we have a plethora of them. Where did you grab this specific list from? Was it
PDGA.
from the PDGA website? Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So, yeah, I would encourage you all to check out PDGA's website for this article here to look at all the ones, because I'm not going to read all through them, but we have some goodies back, Milo MacIver and, all of your tasty ones that we're used to. But, yeah, the list is out,
Yeah,
so
it's
go
all-
check it.
Just check, because if you're ever intending on going to like an AM, a juniors, a masters, those are all included in here. So you can go on their website, you can check out, and this is for 2026 and 2027, and
Yes.
start planning now if you're having any intention on trying to make one of these big majors.
I'm a little
Absolutely.
biased
There's
coming
websites.
from Pittsburgh. I'm coming from Pennsylvania, seeing Junior Worlds in Pittsburgh, PA. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
There you go. And look, now, I didn't point this out earlier, we're bringing you coast-to-coast coverage here on the Disc
Yes.
Golf Show with
I'm in New
California
Jersey
and the
now.
East in Jersey.
Yep.
Look,
Wouldn't have been
you can't
done.
get any better than that.
Without Ken. So
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Thank him for now the coast-to-coast coverage.
Oh yeah.
No, I'm not going to beat the dead horse. I'll just leave it at that. I could go back there, but I'm not going to go through it.
But yeah, looking over that list, like you said, some normals, Peoria, Salt Lake City, things like that.
Yep.
But I do like seeing the different locations in there, and because that's also what needs for disc golf to grow. You need to get
Yes.
into different markets. I would love to see California back in there, either on the tour or something like this. I wish California would put some bids in there or get some, higher caliber tournaments back out there. Like, I loved when the tour started in California.
Yeah.
Right.
What was
Yeah, me too.
wow, I can't
Then
believe
you
I'm
had
blanking on the name.
Memorial, the one at De La Viega.
De La Vega,
Yeah, the one
yeah.
that Paul won for like 12 years in a row or 10 years in
Oh,
a row, or
winter
California
time.
Open,
Winter
maybe it
time.
was Wintertime
Winter time.
Open.
Yeah.
Like, I loved it when it started there, and then like you
Yeah.
said, it moved over and did Memorial. Like that, I was so used to that. I love that it's down in Florida and
We
goes,
might-
it's kind of more better for the disc golfers. But for me personally, I liked it better starting in California,
Absolutely.
Arizona, and then
When,
And there's tons of great courses out here too, so it's
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
not like there's a lack of them, right?
Mhm.
Kind of all up and down, northern
well, and
to
things
southern
things
California.
kind of moved away from West Coast because of the whole controversy with Natalie Ryan. So a
Yep.
lot of that was, I think, an issue with the West Coast events.
and just cost in general. You guys,
Yeah,
unfortunately, have a very expensive state that you live in.
It's
That's very
very
true.
expensive
Very true,
here.
unfortunately.
So, yeah.
But yeah. Hopefully, there will be a point where we have some, because there was before it was OTB, it was held in San Francisco at the SFO, San Francisco Open.
Yep.
I went to that event the very first year. I think it was Sarah Holcomb and Paul Macbeth won that, and it's a beautiful golf course that they used, and they made a fantastic disc golf layout. And then shortly after, I think they had one more year there, and then they had to move it. They went to OTB, but yeah, I do hope that there's some more action over our way. The Champions Cup is kind of one of the things that I'm excited for this year because that's held in Stockton at OTB, where OTB Open is held. But yeah, there's not a ton.
No.
Out of. But yeah, what's up next? What's up next, guys?
Adam Hammis is added to the list of co-owners for Brixton. You know, I mean, there's 4, 5, maybe more?
14,
Yeah.
So
85,
I think they're
62,
originally the
take
two,
a number.
the two owners, I think.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Then you had Dylan.
Right,
And then
which is
now you
huge.
have-
I mean,
yeah,
if you're going to add an owner, again, name recognition,
Yeah.
outside sponsorships, looking at what Dylan has going on. Glad he's part of it.
So the only, and Justin knows exactly where I'm going with this,
Yep.
is there's a clean way to say it and a maybe get us canceled way. So let's not do that one.
Mm-hmm.
Too many cooks
Okay.
in the kitchen
Yeah.
Okay.
comes to mind, and I hope
Now I know what you're
more
going to say.
so they're
Canceled.
yeah. I hope more so they're the silent investors
Right.
with maybe
Right.
like a little ability to suggest. Like I think one of the best
Right.
things that could have been done for the that again I still have a new open mind. I keep putting it off and putting it off. But the Tokyo card, why not have made it the Winthrop card? Like
Sure.
have it apply more directly. I love the idea of having these big cities as things, but like there's no events over there. And you're just using that as a, you know what I mean? I like the
Right.
card. I like it. But I think that maybe they'll have a little better insider viewpoint on Easter egg maybe type things that they could add
Right.
to cards. Hopefully. But I really hope this does not damage because Brixton's product is very visually appealing.
It always makes me cringe a little bit when I see just tons of owners piling on to things. There's like, and I'm sure we've all heard it, like an old adage about, running a business and how many owners you actually want.
Mm-hmm.
And there's reasons for that. And Nick and I can attest to learning the hard way on those things.
Yeah.
And you think you know better and you don't, as it turns out. But there are the exceptions to the rule. And I hope this is one of them because I love the idea of this. I love their product. I want to see it keep going. But I'm hoping it's not a sign of just way too many owners being thrown into the pot. And we don't know what their business structure is, too.
Yeah.
It could be totally, like you're saying, an invisible, they're
They
a
could be a
behind-the-scenes
silent
backer
owner
suggesting
and not
thing.
have
A
any
silent owner.
decision making
Exactly.
at all, or
Yeah.
And that would be the way to do it.
Yeah.
That would be the way to do it, but we don't know, right? And probably won't know. But
Yeah.
I hope that's a good thing.
right.
Yeah, I hope they're brought on more for advice purposes and not decision making purpose.
Yep.
Or like,
Absolutely.
hey, we already make a good product, but we want you to be a part of it because you have much more knowledge and insider ability with being able to make this better. But
Right.
you aren't going to steer the ship.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And it
They're
does-
already
Hopefully that's the
steering
way.
it in a good direction. Like,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
but yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of steering in a good direction, Mr. Wysocki, old Raptor Legs himself, is steering himself in a direction. Actually, he's already been steered there. To the Discraft Elite Team. Why? I don't know. That was at the end. There was a why. I don't know why there's a why, but why? Why is there a why?
I just don't. I don't like it. I don't like it.
You don't like it? Why?
Hate me if you want.
There's the why. Why?
Listen,
Mm-hmm.
he already commented on this a little bit. When he was doing his in the bag, like with Yuli picking stuff,
Yes.
I think that's what the video was that he was commenting on. Maybe it was something else. But he had said it shouldn't. It's not as much as you have these teams, right? It's not a team sport.
Right.
You're player versus player.
True.
Is the correct mindset to have. So kudos to him on having that mindset.
Sure.
But there is that added factor of manufacturer versus manufacturer that plays into that headbutting portion of competition. And having Macbeth and Wysocki, one of the biggest rivalries in the past dozen years, to be on the same, be sponsored by the same manufacturer is just, I get it. And here's the other side too, is Discraft, pump the brakes a little, man. This isn't the Discraft Pro Disc Golf Tour. Like, this isn't like who do you have? You have Burr, that's not on there. You have Robinson, that's not on there. You have Tatar, that's not on there.
Heinberg,
but he's not like, he's like
Lot.
He's won Pro Tour
Lot.
Pro Tour events. Yes, Lot, Kristen Lot. Thank you. There are, percentage-wise, way more
yeah,
just heavy-handedly on Discraft than a combination of all the other manufacturers for big-name competitors. Like, they are so top-heavy now. And again...
So, do you think that hurts the tour or helps the... I mean, if you think about it, what if, say, everybody collapsed and it was just Discraft, that would disc golf really change that much?
I think it would in certain ways. I think you have to have a variety to feed that battle mindset. You can't have everybody on the same team, even though it's not a team sport.
That's what I mean. Like, I don't follow a pro for what they throw.
Well, yeah,
True.
but you're not everybody. A lot of people do.
True.
True.
Well, there are people that will look at the pro to see what they throw.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at those discs, they're almost all Trilogy. So I do have, I had an allegiance to Trilogy when it was that more ground, ground roots, startup company and stuff like that. But I still followed everybody. I still loved my pros that I wanted to follow.
Right.
Dave Feldberg was one of the first pros, and Avery Jenkins. Avery because he lifted and stuff like that, and Dave just because, I don't know, just something clicked with him. Feldberg was out there and stuff like that. But again, it didn't matter that they were both throwing Innova or whatever. Back then there was only Discraft and Innova, and a few others. DGA was still, was around, but they didn't really sponsor anybody.
I would think monetarily you'd need more than just one, just for the money in the game, right? You wouldn't want just
it would be
one
a sad
monopoly,
state. I'm just saying.
Just
trying to trying to counter, Nick
No,
a little
I get
bit,
you.
I
get you. Yeah,
I think
get it.
Discraft has a lot of. They have money from Ultimate, so they're not hurting. Obviously,
right.
They're not gonna hurt. But like with the whole manufacturer allegiance, I throw 90% of my bag is Innova. Do I like what they're doing right now? No.
Yeah.
It's like they're giving people away. I don't see that as a good business process mindset.
Right.
Sure.
It's not a good business model at all.
I also don't see a good business model of buying 90% of the top pros.
Right.
Yeah.
I think you're overloading yourself. I think get some big names, let it breathe a little. If this happened over 2 years, okay. It's happened all this offseason.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say the New York Yankees are going to disagree fundamentally with your philosophy.
And the Dodgers, right?
And the Dodgers.
Team.
I'm just saying.
But yeah, I don't know. Like, ultimately,
more power to Ricky. I hope he's successful.
Yeah.
It's certainly like he was going to get signed by somebody.
Yeah.
Right.
And you got to think he's looking at performance bonuses. He's looking at exposure. He already put out a putter, so I'm sure that had a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, you get to design your own discs. Like, that seems to be a big perk now with all the disc golfers. I mean, there's so many of them.
Watered down as well, though. I hope that doesn't become a thing that it's like, oh, well, that's got to be part of my bid to get a sponsorship. Is I want my own line and own actual molds are two different things.
Right.
Like
True.
Paul Macbeth has his line of discs that are
Right.
Discraft discs. Climo has Climo
Right.
discs that are
Right.
manufactured, but you know what I mean. There's
There's a difference.
there.
I could be wrong, but I think Ricky he did design this mold
Oh,
of putter.
yes, that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
so he's
Yeah,
going to
he
get his
did.
own line too.
Yeah,
And you're
Yep.
right. That's kind of ridiculous also.
I hope it's not an every person thing. The people who get that
Right.
should have earned it, and he has.
Yeah.
I'm not
Absolutely.
taking that away.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Like he's busted his butt. He's done magnificent things out on the course and in the tour, but he did, as they do, seems with everybody. He gets rebranded,
Mm-hmm.
and one of his initial discs is, guess what, the Raptor.
Of course.
So I mean,
Of course, as you do.
we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
Absolutely. Another thing that we can see how it goes is you subscribing to the Disc Golf Show. That's right. Hit the subscribe button. You can always unsubscribe later. You won't. You could. You shouldn't. Nick will find you.
Yeah.
My God, are you still talking?
Yes, we are. And we're talking specifically today. We're going to enter into a little bit of disc golf conversation here. I'm going to change it up on you, Nick. I know you had a plan for this, but I'm
All
going to
right.
change it. You
Okay.
ready? You ready for it?
Yep.
Here's the question. And remember, you all can participate too. Leave your comments in the comments down below.
Please
Leave
do.
your answers to this question, what you think, in the comments down below, or send us an email at theshow@discgolfshow.com, whatever you may feel. Or if you think it's a dumb question, send an email to nick@discgolfshow.com and tell him how much it's dumb. Because this is his question. I'm not taking credit for it. Who is someone you thought was going to do big things in 2024, but now think they've fallen off heading into 2025? Ken, I'm putting you on the spot. Go.
Ooh.
That's a tough question, actually.
Yeah.
You
It
don't
is.
have to answer
It's
that.
a
if you
really
don't
tough question.
You can take a pass and pass it to Nick.
Please don't. Please don't.
No, I'll take a bite at it and
You'll play? All right.
Yeah, I'll stick with Ricky, even though he
Okay.
was ranked number 2 in the rankings, and I don't know if it was PDGA or Disc Golf Pro Tour or whichever rankings he was. Again, very consistent, but the big bugaboo with him is still no majors in 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so like, come on, Rick. Like, we all
He-
know it's the archer, not the arrow. You know, like you're,
True.
you know, just where's that winning? You know, freaking, and that's again. You know, go back to the whole Paul and him rivalry. Like, there's no real rivalry there to me anymore.
Right.
Just by name and just by past, and us historians who've watched it, you know, yes, it was fantastic, but really, I'll actually, there you go. I'll throw both of them in there. Paul and Rick, like, they both need to elevate and win. Let's go. You know, Paul didn't do anything last year at all. I don't think this is his first year, no wins. So I'll, you know, maybe it's obvious, and sorry to throw out the obvious one, but you put me on the spot. But I'm going to go with Paul and Ricky.
No, yeah.
You know,
Because that's
right now.
exactly. I was going to say Paul myself. Like that's kind of the thing too, and I hesitate to say falling off even more into 2025. I hope that's not the case. I also have kind of a weird perspective in that taking a lot of time off and not even looking at disc golf for quite a while and coming back to it. I was told all these great stories about Kristen, now Lot, and how she was going to, you know, just be so dominant because that's where she was before. I didn't see a lot of that in 2024. It was there. I could see the potential. I went back and watched games, and I know what was talked about, and I hope this isn't the case. There better be more wins in 2025. I'm not going to say there won't be, because I see the potential there, but
it would be
I don't think
extremely
2024
difficult.
was as big as previous
It would
years.
be extremely difficult to duplicate her previous year.
Yeah, her
I get
2023
it.
is not
No, I
going
get
to
it.
be duplicated.
It was
And
like
I
get it.
Paul's Grand Slam. Like,
Yep.
Yeah,
it's not
yeah,
going to
I get it.
most likely. You know what I mean?
And she started out
Right.
with the rib injury last year,
Yeah.
so she did really
Yeah.
kind
That
of,
also didn't help.
you know,
Yeah.
I think those two names, Paul and Kristen, are definitely doing much, much more effective wise on disc golf off the course.
Absolutely.
Then
Especially in Macbeth's
and
case.
there's especially Macbeth. But like with Kristen, like she's still very dominant on the course.
Yeah. You can't count her out.
She's also, you have to take into consideration when you're getting all this other information coming at you and other things you've got to deal with, something gives. And it's not like she's slacking. No, dude, she's busting her butt doing other stuff. It's going to affect other parts. If she's not spending 90% of her time on disc golf because now she's gotten to a point where she's getting invited to these government parties and over in Estonia, and she's on these world stages now on different things like that. Those are things she's got to dedicate some energy and time to that she can no longer dedicate back to where she was initially dedicating it.
I'm going to say in 2025 she does much better than 2024 because she also got married. She had the plan. She was planning a wedding, and through that, and I was shocked to see that they did that in the middle of the season, being both disc golfers trying to compete at a high level, and all of a sudden you throw a wedding in there. So I think there was a lot of factors of why she. And again, we're talking minuscule dip, but she did dip. Yeah. I mean, you got to. It is what it is. But with the rib injury, the wedding, like Nick said, all the other companies coming at her, even though she has management and stuff like that, she's still got to ultimately say, yes, I want to do that. No, I want to do that. Again, filming commercials and and all that kind of stuff takes some time. She's
absolutely.
one that I would say, as hard as it might be, she actually might tick up in 2025 for sure.
Now, here's another aspect to that question. I know we're talking about Ricky and Paul needing to do something. Part of me, I don't even want to put this out there, feels like the Tiger Woods where he was racing to that number one place in wins of majors and all that stuff, and he just got almost there, and then this is not what I mean by saying fallen off, but is he past? I hate this word. Is he past his prime? Is he past the point where he can actually make that? He has the talent. We know he has the talent, and we know he has the skill.
Right.
It's not that anymore. It's the rest of the field.
I'm going to save what I want to say about that to our fantasy segment. So we'll tease that, going on, because he's in the power rankings in a spot, and you'll see, and I'll explain why.
Okay. All right. Good.
Well,
good.
With that, let's move it along then into a completely different topic called
gear.
Oh my!
And equipment.
Never get
Gear and Equipment is brought to you today and probably every day for the foreseeable future, we hope, by discgolfdealsusa.com/disc golf show. Save yourself 10% off your purchases by going there, using that affiliate link in the linkies below. discgolfdealsusa.com/disc golf show. So far in 2025, 6 discs have been approved, and actually I think there's a couple targets in there that were approved last time too. So since I see what you're saying, just count all that, there's been a lot more than that since our last show is what was meant to be said. So lots of stuff actually last show, check that out, and check that on PGGA's website and what's been approved. A lot of cool stuff coming our way, and I can't wait to get our hands on a lot of this stuff. Some of it we do have our hands on, so that'll be kind of interesting to bring you guys some sneak peeks here hopefully soon. Some notable ones, we have obviously Axiom releasing more or approving more Simon lines, the prototype 2 and 3 specifically for his balance, which I will probably pick up because I'm a fan. I'm in the fan club. I have the official sticker. Can you get in? No, you cannot, because it's only a fan club with me in it. And Stokely Discs had the Robin approved, so that'll be interesting too. I want to throw every single one of those for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
And then it looks like we have some upcoming releases here from recently approved items being from Castaplast, which is good to see them coming out with more stuff, and Disc Monkey with their DMP1 being approved. Love the company name.
I was going
Can't
to say,
wait
I'd
to
never
see
heard of
those
that
stamps.
company.
Yeah,
There's new ones coming out every day, it seems like. So
I bet you
Disc
it's
Monkey, the MP1.
DMP is Disc Monkey Putter 1.
Oh, you think so?
Ooh,
That's
Good
my
guess.
good one, Nick.
That's a good guess. That's a good one. Yeah, they're like, no, it's like dirt movies and plot line. What popcorn? There we go. Or something. Yeah. Upcoming and recent releases. We have ocean discs. I did see this with the swirly Pacific flying fish. Look at that. Look at that. Nick's holding them up.
Yep, check them
If
out.
you're on
Check 'em out.
the YouTubes,
This is
check
a
that
driver.
out.
It's not
Yeah.
PDJ approved yet, from what I understand.
Okay.
But
okay.
the one
Yeah, I
that
didn't
they
see
do
report
have
come
is the
through,
one
but-
we had played with before. Is that sea turtle one? That's their
Yes.
putter. But
I
yeah,
actually like their discs too, and I love the whole idea about kind of taking plastic out of the
Yes.
oceans,
Yeah,
recycling that into disc golf discs. It's
Genius.
amazing.
yeah.
Yeah, love that about them.
Way
Very
to use
grippy.
that plastic.
Very. If you like tacky,
Super
grippy
grippy.
plastic, that's a go-to. That's a go-to.
Absolutely. And I think like when we first got them too, it was pretty hot, so they were even more grippy. Like
Yeah,
So as the weather kind of gets warmer,
Oh, yeah.
the tackier and more grippy they become, which is I like. So you might not though. I don't know. Let's see. They're still a good idea though. Thought Space Athletics with their soft Paraxis and soft Mana. Look at that. You holding those up there too?
Yep,
If
yep.
you're not watching on the YouTube, this is probably terrible. But
So again, thanks
Nick's
to
holding them up.
Disc Golf Deals USA for sending us these samples
Yes.
to show you guys.
I love the stamps
these
on
are-
this.
These,
Yeah, their triple foil stamps are amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And these stamps are, I believe, Disc Golf Deals USA only stamps.
Ooh, exclusive.
So
There you
these
go.
these
Check it
different
out.
for the two different. Yeah.
All right. Use
yeah,
that affiliate link. Save yourself 10%. Get
Yep.
yourself cool stamps.
We posted
Not
some
much
pictures
more
of
to
them.
be said there. Yeah, absolutely. And then the MVP range, which is Eagle McMahon's official team series, and Coling's. Yeah, there we go. You're holding up those discs on the YouTube there.
So these.
Oh, that's
ones-
cool. Wait, hold up
these
McMahon's
ones-
again. Eagles.
What's that? This one?
Hold up. Yeah. That. Oh, okay. Okay. I
So
like it.
these
I like that
two-
Dragonfly though.
I think it's the only one that where the 10% off isn't applicable. From what I understand, are usually MVP Axiom Streamline ones for
Right.
these like signature releases.
Right.
But while you're there, you get 10% off of all your other stuff. So
All your other stuff. Yeah. No, that's good
yeah,
to point out
these-
too, because it's not 10%. Just
and these
without any caveats.
release date for these is actually tomorrow. So we'll be making a couple posts on these so that you guys can again jet over to Disc Golf Deals and pick up some.
And again,
Good
that
news.
dragonfly stamp on Colling's disc is amazing looking.
That's
It
pretty
is,
cool.
right?
I love
Yeah.
that. It stands out so well too. I love
Yeah,
that.
yeah. One more thing that I didn't put on there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What's that?
I just want to make note of this. You've heard of Puddle Top, right?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Yikes.
Was that
What
from
is
that
that?
Luft company?
Yeah, Luft.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Luft,
This is the
whatever.
neon.
Luft. The neon. Yeah.
This thing is
That
like,
is wow.
Wow.
like lake top.
Concave, right?
Yeah. This thing is
Yeah.
the bottom here is almost level with the edge.
With the
On the
rim.
bottom side.
Yikes.
Like it is
That
that much
is
of a
concave.
concave on the top. It is crazy.
Woo.
I saw this. I was like, ooh, did they
I have
damage
a-
this?
I've-
I went on the website. That's
They're
what
all like that. Okay.
I have a soft
All right.
Cenis that's that way because I've had it for 10 years in my bag, but
Yeah, right.
I don't have a brand new disc that's that
Yeah, yeah,
concave.
Interesting. I like it. I want to throw that one. We will
Yeah.
soon. We'll get you videos probably.
Yeah, we will.
Other things that we're going to roll into in the future, the near future, is this thing right here.
K-E-N versus Disc Golf.
Ken. Ken, talk to us about
What
fantasy.
you got?
Talk to us about
Okay.
fantasy disc
So,
golf.
as these guys have said over and over again, we use Skip Ace as our fantasy site that we go to. Now, on Skip Ace, they have a couple different options for you in fantasy disc golf. You can do what they call weeklies. So they give you a certain amount of points that you can use, and you draft your players that way. But you can only reach that top point, which is I think it's like 60,000 points or 6,000 points. and it bases it off of the player's ranking at the time. So why I say at the time is because you can go through the whole schedule right now and set your lineups for each week, hope that the players play because they're at their lowest ranking they'll be for 2025, most likely. Again, it's usually a fluctuation, but more than likely it's a steady incline as they play through the year. So you can do that, and that's just, weeklies and things like that for each event. What we did, and what I prefer, is drafting and doing a snake draft in particular. So again, if Nick got first pick, then I pick second, then Justin, but then Justin picks again, goes back to me, then goes back to Nick, the snake drafts. And that's where you can really dig deep into the wooded versus open courses. Do you want to have your lineup set up to where it's just all what you feel is top-notch players that are great in both? Do you want to specifically play, or draft a person that's best in the woods or best in the wide open, just got a big gun, and you're going to save them for later on? You're just going to stash them on your bench and say, you know what, I know this guy plays great in the open, so we're going to wait for that. Do you want to draft a European player and say, you know what, I know Worlds is over in Europe this year, let me put some emphasis and some higher emphasis on my European players that are going to be more familiar with those courses over there, more comfortable, maybe even be able to sleep in their own bed. I hear that a lot in other sports, Go ahead.
And something maybe to pay attention to this year, maybe something that you might be covering, I'm not sure, is they just said, especially on Skip Ace, we can do trades now.
Yes.
This year. So that's something to also consider.
Yeah, absolutely. If you, again, feel like your player, that player's not performing for you well enough, trade them off. I don't know, again, if they're going to do multiple where I can give you 2 players for year 1 or something like that. If I want to get a higher ranked player, if you're fortunate enough, like someone like I was last year, had a lot of great players, and sometimes they were just sitting on my bench doing nothing. It would have been great to have that trading aspect to dangle that one out there. Yeah. What?
Must be nice.
Must be nice.
I just have great players sitting on my bench.
I did. I had Silver Starlet just sitting there as she's cranking through those European events. I'm just
Yep.
And that's the other thing that Skip Ace allows you to do as a commissioner. You can choose the events that your players in your fantasy league are gonna play. So I would definitely highly recommend, if you're a commissioner looking to get into fantasy disc golf, look through the events, because there is some overlap. As they go over into Europe, some people are going to go over sooner and later. So look at those events, like your Kansas City Wide Open, I think, is one that may not have as many players in it. And again, a lot of people skip the West Coast until it gets to OTB or until it gets to Beaver State Fling, things like that. So that's another thing you can, you just blind draft too, just pick them as, if you find a rankings list. Now, I don't get into that. I'll freely admit I'm going to borrow from the rankings list of someone else that they populated, but I'm going to put my own spin on it. There are a couple of them I absolutely don't agree with. You guys want me to go into that, or you got anything to say about fantasy first before
No, I think a really cool feature and it's something to pay attention to and know about, is if you're a commissioner of one of the disc golf fantasy leagues, you can cancel events out even up until the day of. Because we did that a couple of times, that we're like, oh, you know what? Looking across everybody's players that we have, not enough of us have players that are going to be in that event. We're just going to take that one off. Yeah. And we're going to take, basically, this is like a bye week for everybody. That one's not going to count. Or, there was a little bit of overlap, and we went through and went, okay, what does everybody want to do for this one? Looks like we have more players on this one. What do you guys think? Yes, no? Okay, we'll take that one off, and then we'll only have this one in terms of events that would be scored for that particular, week for that fantasy. So, it's pretty cool in that respect. So, just something you have to pay attention to. So, commissioners out there, pay attention to that.
I do want to put a call out to the almighty JVD.
Yes.
I know you probably don't have a lot on your plate. I know you probably hang out.
You're not busy, right? Kind of busy.
if you can find it in your heart at some point, you're probably already working on this.
Probably.
Pointless to me to say it. Make an app. Make an app for this. I would love
That'd
to
be cool.
see this in app form. But I love it as it is. So thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And like again, behind the scenes, we talked about it before we started. His pro version of this site is $5 plus tax. Like,
Nice.
please, everybody support.
No-brainer. Yeah.
Skip Ace, support JVD. The dude's been doing this fantasy stuff for free out of his own pocket for years. It's about time if you can throw him a couple bucks, throw him. I mean, come on.
Absolutely.
$5.
And
You
we'll be
can
doing
almost
that.
find that in your
Is it
couch.
5 or 10?
Or 10 or whatever. I don't know.
It's 5 or 10,
earlier.
it's something like that. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Still,
not
yes.
that expensive, so definitely
Yeah.
throw them a couple bones. And we'll
Yeah.
be doing that this year for our league as well. Announcements to come about when that opens, but we're going to open up more player slots this year for the Disc Golf Show
Yes.
Fantasy League. So if you're interested, stay tuned.
And what could you win, Ken?
Oh, won a subscription to Disc Golf Network. That was very
Boom,
much
there you go.
appreciated. Like
Well,
a pro subscription, I should say.
Yeah.
Pro
So
subscription.
the top,
Yep.
Big shout out to the network.
Absolutely.
For donating that. And we want to thank them so much for doing that because we were going to get it anyway, but they offered and, we appreciate it. Hopefully, you
Right.
know, we're talking. So,
Right. And hopefully
That
we can
might-
offer that every year. That'd be
yeah,
awesome.
that would be awesome. I
Well,
think
we will
that's
be offering it
a
every
really,
year, but-
I think that's a great grand prize
Absolutely.
because
what is that?
You get
It's
a whole
$150
extra
value.
year.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
you get a year prize. So hopefully we can continue that moving
And
forward.
shout out to their customer service. They were fantastic. With Nick and I
Absolutely
had to go back
fantastic.
and forth and do
Yeah.
a few things. We don't have to go into the details of what it was, but still, like their customer service was great.
Yeah,
So.
definitely.
Yep. All right,
You guys-
power rankings, Ken. Take us through
Oh
it.
yeah.
Right. So, I mean, the obvious power rankings of the MPO, your Gannon, your Ricky, your Calvins, your Isaacs, Nicholas Antala, and Ezra Robinson will finish out my top 8 or 7 there. There are 2 that I picked, that I drafted last year, that I think carried me through. You could call them sleeper picks if you want, but I based it on, again, little inside of my thinking and everything, is I knew, for some reason, I knew that Nicholas was training more over in Europe. He was part of that combine. I don't know if you guys ever seen the clips on that, which, again, Europe is doing it again. I saw Anna Christine in that combine. I saw a couple other people in there, but that was the only one I knew posted about it. But the fact that Europe, again, they treat their disc golfers as athletes as they should be. That they're pulling them in and they put the whole sensors all over their body to do a computer program on their throws and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, long story short, I saw that he was doing that kind of stuff and doing that off-season training, so I figured he would take a step up. Now I got, it was fantastic that he not only stepped up, he won 1 or 2 events. He won the one in Texas, and I think he contended. He lost in a playoff in the other one, where they had to turn on the car lights and stuff like that for him to win, maybe. Anyway, and then Ezra Robinson, I knew he was making a big push going into his free agent year, because just like if you've played any other fantasy sports, that's always one thing I looked for, is that football player, that baseball player that was going into a free agent year looking for that big contract. A lot of them do not crumble under pressure. They thrive on pressure. I think Ezra Robinson is one of those disc golfers. He thrives off of that pressure. And
For sure.
he played very consistent. His average finish was 18th or something like that. No, his average finish, was 16th. Nicholas was 17th. So, in a 10-person league, that second-tier person on your bench, and again, I know I'm blowing by Gannon, Ricky, Calvin, because they're pretty obvious. Like, if you're not drafting
Right.
them with your first picks, but you got to look at those, Kyle Klein's another one. His average finish was 18th. That's a great person to have as your second tier pick, things like that. Now, one that I will mention that, again, this person that has him ranked, this is where I'll disagree with, and I mentioned I'd bring it up, Paul Macbeth. In this power ranking that I'm looking at, and this, by the way, includes FPO players in there, he's ranked 16th between MPO and FPO. I disagree with that. His average finish was 19th, which again actually surprised me a little bit that he was in the top 20. I just don't, with his age, with him being a father, and just his involvement, like you said, Nick, outside of disc golf, I wouldn't pick him in the third. That would be a third round pick, late third round, fourth round pick. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I don't know what you guys think about that, but I just wouldn't.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. That makes sense.
That's like a historical love for the player pick.
Yes,
absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like, honestly, I'm so happy you got Simon last year, Justin. But
Darn
that's
right.
what I would have done. I don't care where Simon places. I am a Simon fan. Like,
right.
Him, and the reasons why also apply for Kristen Lott. But I love to see people I respect win.
Mm-hmm.
Even if their probability is low, it's just like a support choice in that point. You know what I mean? So it's like, is it benefiting me? Probably not, but could it? Yeah, it could, because they have the skills and the talent to do it. It's just, can they line them all up?
Correct. Now, right above him in the rankings, Anthony Barella, 15th in this ranking. Right? See, I see your head. You're like, what? I would the opposite. I'd rank him almost the number one pick, and then I'll give you my reasons why. For one, last year, wasn't that his first year with Discraft?
Yeah, and that was his first year where he had multiple wins.
Yeah.
So I just see that just continuing. And on a physiology part of it, he's still growing into his body. I know muscle doesn't necessarily equate to disc golf distance or anything like that, but it does help you with injuries, help you with recovery, things like that. There's still a prime athlete in there, and he's only going to keep getting better for the next 4 to 5 years yet. So I would put him in a top 10, if not even a top 5. He started out like a house on fire, and then he did tail off, and that's why his average finish is only 19th for last year. But I would take him. I would rank him much higher.
I think.
Disagree?
I agree. I think the fact that he has a taste and knows what it feels like now, not just once, not just like a little. Oh, I know that I can do this multiple times in a dominant manner.
Yes.
He's definitely got the drive. He's definitely got the abilities. Like, the guy body type is probably, when I think about where disc golf goes, it's AB.
Yes.
It's Gannon also, but Gannon, what is Gannon with a little more meat on him?
Yeah.
It's AB. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
No, you're right.
What's he doing? He's working out. That's what he was doing in the off season. He was trying to up his weight, get some muscle.
Right.
So I think your height and not a Ezra size build at that height, but I think AB's body type constitutes a no ceiling.
Right.
His height, his size, his abilities. Like, the guy can throw 700 plus on flat land.
Yeah.
Right.
And I know Gannon said he threw 800 on that video.
Right.
I need you to walk that off, basically.
Sure.
But if anybody can do it, it's one of them, and it's because of their, honestly, wingspan. Wingspan's the biggest factor there.
Leverage.
Yeah.
Paul's explosive. That's why he did what he's able to do. Macbeth is explosive. That's how he's able to beat him. But natural ability it's definitely Wingspan. It's definitely AB. I think AB is going to do well this year.
And you can draft him and forget him. He's going to play all the events. You're not going to have to worry about him missing events or anything like that. Again, knock on wood, he's not had injuries. He did actually when he was younger, a little bit. You know, when he was still with Innova, when he was a little younger, he had some injury issues and things like that. But I would think, again, top 10 pick easily for me with him because he's going to be there playing all the events. Again, recovering well. You know, if anything, I'd love to see him not do so much off the course trick shot stuff and videos, and same with Gannon.
Yeah.
Throw him in there. Like, I love seeing the content as a person who loves disc golf, and I take it all in. I watch every YouTube channel of everybody and all that. But boy, when it comes to fantasy, geez, just please. Like, I used to think about the football players, like, don't get on that boat. Don't go skiing. Don't do this. You know, like, get off that snowmobile. Like, what are you doing? Like, don't.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Should we go to FPO, or is there anybody else
Yes.
MPO that we think we should bring up?
No.
One more MPO player since his name was brought up. Simon Lizotte. He was ranked 30th.
Yes.
He's ranked 30th in his power rankings.
Yeah.
This is for 2025, by the way. This isn't last year's power rankings. His average finish was 28th. Now with him, he says it right out. Like, he doesn't play all the events. You know, again, he's a father of 2 now. He's still got a really young one at home. He talks all the time about him hating to go out and leave home.
Yeah.
So again, I think 30 is good for him. I don't know if he's a 2nd or 3rd round pick. You know, again, he's a great name, and you wanna pick him because he's a great personality. But putting all that aside, if you know, put your feet to the fire, I'm not picking him till 3rd or 4th round, just because of that. Because the MPO field also, to finish up on that, it's so tightly packed. Like, you can't go wrong with, if you don't get, you know, a Barella, grabbing a Chris Dickerson. You know, or something like that. Or again, you know, if you Joey Buckets. You know, he did great last year. He had a breakout year. I could see him maybe, you know, again, he's learned how to win. He's been out there now another year, more comfortable on the road. Why not?
Absolutely.
You know?
You pick up Simon and you put him in if the trophy's going to be a guitar.
If it's going to be a guitar.
Then you put him in. Guaranteed win.
Yeah, Music City Open. Yeah, pick Simon.
Sure. All right, the FPO rankings, like I said, they put them in all together, but the obvious ones are up top. And again, we know Kristen's going to be great. She's going to be consistent. Holland Hanley, I mean, maybe she's a little bit of a sleeper. I don't think so. Again, I drafted her first overall, and I would have had given the choice if Kristen was still there, and I still would have picked Holland. Because again, her off the course training and what she's done, and she's done it year after year after year now, built her own course purposely to work on her shortcomings on out on the tour. Who else is doing it, male or female? Who else is doing that? Who else bought or built their own course purposely and made holds purposely to be hard for her to practice? Still, weightlift. Go ahead.
I think with her, the only thing that comes to mind is her frustration with herself. It's very obvious when she's not playing well that she's not happy, and she gets out of the zone really easily. And I think that she needs to be able to be a little more, have her head space and ability to keep her head in the game.
Sure.
That part of her game, the mental space, is so important, and I think sometimes she wavers a little bit there. But
is that going to stop you from driving her, number 1 overall if Kristen's off the board?
No.
No. I think the only other person there really in contention is Missy, right? Missy's
Again,
one of those other names.
right. Own and Missy are the next two
Yeah,
in
right.
the power rankings. So
Yeah.
again,
Say Own,
pretty
yeah.
obvious if you got any of those three. Kristen being obviously your number one choice.
Yeah.
Now again, we all draft FPO and MPO together, so that's why these rankings are squished together like that.
Yeah.
Now I wouldn't take Holland or Kristen in that. Again, here in this power rankings, they're third and fourth. I wouldn't pick them with my third or fourth overall pick, per se. But your top of your second round or something like that, those two, Owen and Missy, sure. So
Well, I think if you having a bad pick in FPO is a little more forgiving points wise than having a bad pick in MPO.
not anymore because he changed the way the points are.
The way that's
not,
going this year.
Okay.
It's not where they finish now. It's how they score through the rounds.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now again,
you can-
as a commissioner, I'm sure you can change that and put it
Sure.
to wherever they finish.
Yeah.
Is your? But I like that there's more versatility in your scoring now.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You have more granular control now, too. Like, you can assign point values to different things now, too. That might require the pro level of it, but get that anyways.
Yep.
But yeah, I like all the changes in that respect. So
Okay, so here's
Absolutely
one
right.
to point out to you guys, again, of
Okay.
rankings that I think are, can certainly, who haven't we mentioned yet? Who won Worlds last year?
Who won?
Evelina.
Oh, that's
yeah,
right.
Solonen.
That's
Why-
right.
Why is Evelina down now again? 1, 2, 3, 4. So she's fifth in the girls' ranking, 12th overall in there. I would personally put Evelina up above Missy for sure. I would go Kristen,
I could see that.
Holland.
Yeah.
Well, again, personally, my rankings is Holland, Kristen, Own, Evelina.
Right. Owen tore it up for you this last year. I could see.
Yeah.
Now, the reason why I say Own less is, as far as I know, Own has never gone over to Europe. Now that I'm sure it'll
I don't
change
know.
because of Worlds being over there.
Yeah.
True.
But if you look back on European Opens, she has not been there. I'm not
Right.
sure what that is. Again, we don't know. It's not like I have owns. I can't send her a message. I can send her a message on
Right.
Instagram and go, "Hey, are you
Right.
going to go to Europe?" But doesn't mean she's going to respond. I don't have a personal, connection with her that way or anything like that. But yeah, as far as I know, I'd be careful of that. Again,
Gotcha.
if you follow her on socials or something like that, then maybe I would. I'm still going to keep her up there because, again, she plays all the
For
ones
sure.
in the States, but she does also dip off to the FP, to the Masters divisions also. So, again, another reason why I would drop Own down. Now, again,
Right.
she plays terrific, but we do got to worry about that. She's one that we got to worry about. She will start dipping. As much as you hate to say it, but her age is a factor. So her skill levels are going to...
Yeah, she's a bit of an anomaly
Correct.
in FPO for sure because she makes it work.
Mm-hmm.
When you look, if you put her next to the field, you go, you wouldn't think that she'd have as many wins as she did.
Right.
But and honestly, ultimately, it's putting.
Yeah.
Putting.
Putting keeps her in the mix.
Her putting's insane.
Absolutely.
So the fact that she can putt that well definitely is what pulls her through a lot of those. If she falters at that, and because she's even been getting a little more distance here and there too, not near the top at all in any form, but yeah, she's like you said with her age, that's gonna start dwindling.
So
Absolutely.
that's a nice segue. Let's go talk about Silver Sauerland, or however Silver.
Sarnan?
Yeah,
Sarnan. Yeah.
her putting is right up there with Owens and Missy's, I would say, if you've watched her. So she's one. If I had a choice between Owen and Silver, and again, especially with Worlds being over there, that European disc golf festival. You know, people are gonna, and she crushed it in Europe. She was undefeated, I think, wasn't she? Now again, smaller fields. I get that. You guys can, you know.
But she was dominant over there.
Right.
Very.
It's not like it was like her and then the next FPO player. It was like 7, 8, sometimes double-digit strokes that she was beating these girls. And then when she did play in the States, her average finish was 8th.
Yeah.
So that's over.
Good.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Now again, those firsts over in Europe definitely helped her average finish, but she was in contentions. Now she's another one though that I think up here she's got to get it together. If you're just listening, I pointed to my head. She's got it between the ears. She's definitely got to pick it up a little bit more.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I agree.
Now I'm going to go down. These are some names in FPO that this ranking person did not have on the list, and I wanted to give them a shout out because I thought for sure they're going to perform a little bit better than not to have. This is a top 50 ranking of MPO and FPO. They do not have Lucky on the rankings, not in the top 50.
Right.
Now the reason, this is why I'm saying again, you know, kind of giving away a lot of my strategy here, but you guys will forget. The reason why I say Lucky is off the course she got her visa all fixed, and she's been here in the States now all off season. So that gives me high hopes that, again, a sleeper pick, as if you don't know the terminology, that's one of those that you're taking a chance on, that you think no one's going to think about, and you draft them because of that reason, that you think there's so much upside there that it's worth taking in that maybe 4th or 5th round. You know, again, with the FPO and MPO getting ranked together, I would say probably late 4th, 5th round. If she slips to 6th, I think that's just too far down. You know, because that's where she's at now. If you're out the top 50, you know, you're talking 10 people, you know, back and forth. I mean, we saw her 3rd at Worlds 2 years ago.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, she's got another year with open bag. So again, out there grinding. If you watch her Instagram, if you watch her YouTube channel. Also, she's, again, I know physical sheer strength doesn't do anything. She's hitting the weights.
Yeah.
She's another one that hits the weights in the off season and things like that. That's just going to help her in her injuries and things like that. Who is the other female?
I think that's the biggest thing, too, is the off-season training, that people don't realize how important it is to somebody's tour season for the upcoming year. People do not, and we talked about this way back. We've referenced this so many times. The first time anybody did anything that was specifically training was Simon and Eagle went to Switzerland for training. Who were the first 2 winners in the tour when the tour started? Simon and Eagle.
Yeah.
Right.
So there's I don't understand why that isn't so much more, because that was 7, 8 years ago.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
how is more of a like centralized purpose for dialing in on for your game overall is your training in the off season. Stop thinking of this. People need to stop thinking of this as a game, and they need to think of it as a sport slash profession, because that's what it is.
She's
It's your
an
job.
athlete.
Take it serious. Yeah.
Yeah, she is an athlete, and she's showing it, and that's why.
Yep. Yeah.
Speaking of off-season, you know, one of the other females I'm going to mention, she wasn't in that list. I missed her. Paige Pierce.
Yeah.
Yes.
A year back from injury, now a full year away from that injury. Is she going to be the Paul Macbeth of the FPO? To where her age and her...
Yeah.
You think so? Okay.
Think so?
Honestly, I think there's a disconnect that happened after that injury over in Europe. And she got married, and she has all this extraneous stuff that she has been dealing with. But I think, does she have the tools? Yes, we all know she does. She was very dominant, and she has not been.
Her
Well, I
average,
think both of you are wrong. First round draft pick, picking her. There we go.
her average finish last year was only 16th. So that definitely,
I hope it proves me wrong. I mean, I do.
right.
I mean,
but
She-
yeah, I don't know.
I think 31st is where he has her ranked in the, again, but so we've got other FPOs around her, above her, Haley King, Rebecca Cox. So
Those
it's
are
tough.
names.
Yeah,
Rebecca Cox definitely has to, if she gets all her stuff together, she has the potential to do good things.
right.
Haley King, there's
Who knows? She doesn't even have a sponsor yet.
No, there
Yeah.
are massive issues.
yeah.
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 I wouldn't
Between those
draft
60.
her.
Like,
Yeah, she is off my board. I would not put Haley King on my board.
yeah,
For one,
Right.
like I said, right now,
She
she
unknown.
literally doesn't even have a sponsor yet.
yep,
So,
Yep.
I mean, we're talking, 3 weeks into this before the season starts?
yeah.
Now, of course,
Right.
she could be throwing and doing all that, but you're right. The head case in the fact that she doesn't have a sponsor and there's sometimes she's just missing.
Yep.
You're just like, where's Haley King on tour? It's like, oh, she's
Right.
back out. Yeah, nope. Wouldn't even, so there I disagree. Ranking her 28th. Nope.
Yeah.
Not for
Agree
me.
with you there.
I would put Lucky almost in that slot. I would probably put Paige. For me, I'd put Paige Pierce in that slot and put Lucky in Paige's spot in 31st.
Yeah.
Whatever that
Yeah.
ranks out for FPO.
That makes more sense.
That's all I got to say, unless you guys got some more.
Oh,
No, that was
Nope, I think that's-
insightful, and as much as I hope it benefits me,
Yeah, I mean, I really gave away a lot of secrets there. I hope you guys appreciate
my
that.
memory is horrible, so don't worry about that.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
going to live
yeah.
on the internet forever now, so
Yeah, I know.
Right.
Fuck myself,
go back
so-
and take
Your own
notes.
strategy is going to play there too.
Yeah.
You know, it'll be
But you
okay.
know what? I gotta say, I think this is going to be super fun as we go through the season because there is nothing like this that I've
Yeah.
seen for people who, and there's a lot of people that play fantasy disc golf now. So hopefully get some traction. And I don't care if somebody
Right.
else starts doing it. Hopefully this
Right.
spurs something in people to
Yeah.
where they can take advantage of this thought process and mindset into how they make their picks. Because you not only dominated ours, you dominated the other one you were in too, right?
yeah.
Or did you?
For the most part, I didn't
Yeah.
technically finish first, but I also had no European contention in there.
But
Because again,
really well.
the rank, it was, like I said, I think it was like 10 to 15 people, and there was
Yeah.
no trading. So I drafted who
Ah.
I drafted, and I just
Right.
had nobody over in Europe. So once that happened,
Yeah.
I just,
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
So I think I finished
Sounds good.
third in that. But still good. Third out of
That's still
15.
good. Yeah,
I'll take it.
Yep.
exactly.
All right. Nick, did you want to mention the upcoming events that people might want to pay
Yeah,
attention to?
yeah. So there's a
Okay.
few. Couple easy ones to get out of the way is May 17th to 25th. They've announced the 2025 Women's Disc Golf Week. So if you ever participate in those events, that whole time is, I think it goes towards, maybe Ken can, I can't think of it off the top of my head. I know they donate some of the proceeds of those events, I believe.
Throw pink, probably.
Thank you. And then our friends up north, September 12th to the 14th, the Canadian Championship. It's a Q Series event on DGPT, and that is held in Port Hope, Ontario.
Ontario.
So I do
Ontario.
want to put that out there for them. I always tell them, hey, I tell anybody, if you guys want something mentioned on here, just shoot us a message. We're more than happy to add it to our notes. More than happy to at least get something out there in the ether for you guys. And then the other one is the more recent event, 2025 All-Star Challenge, which is going to set off the tour
Yep.
the day before the first event, and that is going to be held in Brooksville, Florida, February 27th. So the day before the first Tour event. So 2025 All-Star Challenge, February 27th, Disc Golf Pro Tour.
Absolutely.
I think that's it.
All righty.
One more thing. One more thing. Before we get on to the next segment. The course, our new course, was just...
Oh, it had its grand opening?
Yeah.
Ribbon cutting?
No,
not yet.
The dedication's coming later. The dedication's going to be coming later in the year, but the park has been announced as being open. From what I understand, fence is coming down today, and baskets are going in today. So
Sweet.
Nice.
Super stoked about getting people out there. Thank you.
Super close.
And trying that out so I can learn more about design, because that's what I want to do in the future.
All right.
That's awesome.
Well, that leaves us only one thing left to do. Let's move to the next section.
All right.
You've got
Incoming mail.
Mail call!
That's right. It is Mail Call, and this is the section where we bring you, the lovely listener and watcher, into the show. Here we're going to, eventually, I'm going to set up a way. I promise I will get to it. I promise. A way for you guys to leave maybe voicemails and leave us a message. We can hear your voice, ask us questions that we can answer on the show, or at least leave us feedback there if you'd like. Also, we got a quick correction to make from our last video. Chandler Fry didn't win the Tour Down Under event, and Nick says that he is not infallible. He just wants to let you know. So he's going to make mistakes. Just, he's human. Nick at discgolfshow.com is what he likes. But yes, that quick correction there. So we said that wrong. We want to make sure that we get that right. That was not right. And that's pretty much it. We have no real feedback here, although I do want to point out we do have a recent product review video you should go check out on the channel from the Tentacle Pro, which I think Nick was holding one up there if you're watching the YouTubes. That bad mamba jamba right there. And maybe you'll see it on a playthrough video or something like that here in the near future.
That's what I'm using with my phone right now. Is actually
it's working well. If you're watching the YouTube, it's working well.
It's holding nicely. Nice vantage point. So thank you.
It is. All right. So we've come to the end of the show you've all been waiting for. How do I enter into this darn giveaway that I've been hearing about? Well, this is how. You ready? You got something to write with? I'll pause for a couple seconds. You got that pen, paper, pencil, notepad, typing it in furiously? Here we go. So you have to be subscribed to the YouTube channel in order to enter yourself to be eligible to win said giveaway. Lots of items in this giveaway, so please do enter. This is your chance. This is your chance. Leave a comment down below on this YouTube video. That's youtube.com/discgolfshow. If you're listening here and you're not watching, go there. Find this video of this episode. Leave your comment down below. Make sure you're subscribed, and we'll contact you via your comment on this video. And we will not send you a link. So we don't want people to get scanned by people saying that the Disc Golf Show. We will contact you via the comment that you leave, letting you know that you've won, and give you additional information from there. It will not be a link, so don't click on links in the comments, please. That pretty much does it for the whole show. That's how to enter into the subscriber giveaway. Thank you so much for helping us hit that 1,500, hitting our goal there. Our next goal is 8 million, so help us get there as well. If you are in the market for a new disc golf bag, or maybe, some additional kind of accessory kind of stuff that you can get from Upper Park Disc Golf, make sure you use the code DiscGolfShow to get 15% off of your entire purchase. Also, one more time, I'm going to bring it to your attention because it's amazing. You should use it. Use our affiliate code down below in the linky poos for discgolfdealsusa.com/discgolfshow to get yourself 10% off of your entire purchase. Some exceptions are included, and we talked about those earlier on in the show. Please refer to that. This episode is also brought to you in part by Final Nine Sports with their 2 locations, one in Orangeville, one in Rockland. Support local if you can't support those, or, hey, go to the Disc Golf Deals USA. And remember, thank you first to our new host and bringing us that very valuable and very pertinent information about fantasy disc golf. Ken, thank you so much for joining us, and hopefully you'll be with us for many more episodes in the future,
It's my first disc golf podcast, so appreciate it.
Hey, there we go. And what better one to be on than the Disc Golf Show?
Sure.
Right? It's in the name. It's the Disc Golf Show, right? And that other guy, Nick. You can send us an email at theshow@discgolfshow.com with your inquiries and questions, or, Nick at discgolfshow.com for all your hate mail. And remember, in disc golf, as in life, aim high and let it fly.